the self-made entrepreneur, no manure. I'm the
Greetings and salutations, man, from Honduras. I'm sorry. From Honduras, man. Roatan to be exact. Hey, I figure it's nice. I'm sitting on a deck, man. It's nice outside. The sun is about to set. And while the sun was setting, man, I had somebody say, hey, why don't you talk about, the dark side of being successful, man? What does that really look like? So let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. So being successful or hitting your goal but still feeling empty, like if you hit your goal but you don't have a purpose, that can lead to that empty feeling. Even when you do something great, you just don't feel great. Even when you do something magical, you just don't feel magical. It's because you don't have any purpose, man. Gotta find your purpose. Once you find your purpose, man, and then you hit your goals and you start exceeding your goals and you start winning and compounding wins and wins and wins, then that emptiness goes away because you got a purpose behind what you're working so hard for. Another side of it is, man, this is the side that's tough, man. The side that you get burnt out. And then what happens after that is you start going into isolation mode. Man, you got to be careful with that. I can speak from from personal experience, man. You can get burned out. I got an engine that don't stop. That's what I was told. That's what I always thought. And then it took me getting married to my wife because she is the one that pulls the reins back on the horse, man. She'll say, hey, you're going too hard. You need to calm down a little bit. You need to de-stress. The world's the world's beating you up pretty good. You're handling your own. But now it's time to chill before you get burned out. And once I hear her say that, and I'm blessed, man, because I got somebody looking out for me to make sure that burnout thing, and which will lead to isolation. Because once you get burned out, you don't want to talk to anybody, man. You don't want to be around anybody. You don't want to see anybody. Only thing you want to do is be by yourself because you burned out, you wore out, your mind ain't sharp. Then you isolate yourself because, if you're used to winning, you don't want to be around people that you love, admire, and respect when you burned out because you get a little chippy, You start saying things, you get a little aggressive. And you know that, so what you do is you start isolating yourself. So you got to take, I'm going to say, ownership of the fact that once you get burned out, man, you got to take that break. I don't know if you know this, but it's like 93 degrees here. As you can see, I got some cutout sleeve t-shirts on. But another part of that, another part of what we're talking about, the dark side of success, is how do you manage like relationships and expectations? That's a tough one, man. When you are in success mode, the first thing you do is, if you're me, how I did it, let me speak from my personal experience. Losing was really never an option because I've never lived my life like I have a backup plan. Those of you know me, but I've never lived my life like that. So you have to manage your relationships, man, with people, with your partner, if you got kids, with your kids. And then once you learn how to manage those relationships, when you start winning, you got to manage them because they're going to change. Things are going to change. And the expectations that people put on you, they will change. Some for good, some for bad. When you let people put unrealistic expectations on you, man, that's a struggle there, boy. That's the dark side of success, man. Once you start winning, what's up, Birds? Peace, love. No, but once you start winning, man, people put expectations on you that sometimes are a little bit too heavy. And if they are, man, address that. Don't let somebody put something on you that's a little bit too heavy, man. The world is hard enough to navigate through as it is. We talk about that all the time. Man, rule number one, you know what you got to do. If it ends with day, you know the play. So you can't let people put these expectations on you that are so great that it turns you into somebody that you don't want to be. Because then once the expectations get too heavy, those relationships change. They change. And you don't want them to change if they're great. So that's where you draw those rules, boundaries, and limitations. And again, I'm a blessed dude, man. I got Mrs. Moore. She knows how I ebb and flow. She understands things. When she says stop, she means it. And guess what's going to happen? Stop. When she says it's all systems go, which is my favorite time. And yeah, I'm on a little bit of vacation, and I don't take too many of them, but when I do, best believe I take them. Uh, but now I'm anxious to get back because, she's like, now it's time to go. Now it's time to get down. But managing them expectations, man, you got to do that. And the only way you can do that is by, like I said before, having rules, boundaries, and limitations. Another dark side of success is mental health, right? We got to take care of our mental health. And some people will preference money over mindset. And I was one of those. I put making money at the forefront of everything. I mean, everything. You hear us talk about it all the time. I enjoy it. I think I'm halfway decent at it. I ain't the best at it. I still got room to grow. And we're going to grow together too if you hang out with me. We're gonna make it right because I want everybody to win. But mental health is very important. And this is coming from a guy who, I ain't no real big fan of mental health days. I wasn't. But after doing a little bit of homework and honestly talking to people younger than me, mental health is very important because it can lead to things down the road. And you got the older generation that sit there and say, oh, it's off. No, it can't do this. You can't do that. Okay, that's fair. But you know what else is fair? I'm not letting you put your expectations or what my mental health's supposed to be on me. I'm not going to let you do that to me. I'm not going to let you do it to my wife. And my line is my wife, man. Once I start understanding that my mental health can change my relationship with my wife, I'm not putting money over mindset, not anymore. Because guess what? With the correct mindset, you don't chase money. Money chases you. Don't you ever forget that. With the correct mindset, you don't chase money. Money chases you. And that's the way you want it. If we can all get to that point, man, that's when you kind of know things are going in the right direction. That's how you know. Last thing I'll say, last topic, right? What are the tools that you use? Dark side of success. What are the tools that you use to stay grounded? What are the tools that you use? Let's talk about it. I use tennis because for me, I can picture whatever it is stressing me out. And for those of you who don't know, I play tennis and I can manipulate that ball. I love it. But I take my stresses out on that ball. Whatever's bothering me, that's what that ball is. I'm gonna hit it very hard as I can. That's one tool that I use. Another tool is, again, hey man, if y'all don't have a good, better half, man, you better find one. I ain't saying it's easy. It's tough out there. But I got one. And I'm blessed and I'm lucky and I love it. Because she is another tool that I use to stay grounded. You got to stay grounded. We are not the Energizer freaking bunny. You got to take time to ground yourself. You got to. My dad always used to say, man, why do you think they have racket clubs, son? Golf clubs, things like that. It's because that's what people use to stay grounded. When you're out there hustling all the time, you're out there doing what you're doing, trying to provide for your family, trying to carve out a little piece of the pie for you that this world can make very tough. And we'll dive into that some other time. But while you're doing that, you still got to stay grounded, man, because again, you don't want to hurt those that's close to you. And once you start getting successful, one of the things that go away is patience. You start losing patience because you're like, I don't have time for it. I don't have time for this. I don't have time for that. I'm not going to do this. You got to find something that grounds you, whether it's reading a book. Hey, shout out to Sam Landau. Hey, reading. I am happy, and I can say this wholeheartedly, that another thing that grounds me is my family. I'm the baby of 5. being the younger brother to two older brothers and a 90-plus-year-old father, spending time with them grounds me. It helps me. And forgive me, I'm sweating. Like I said, it's 90-something degrees, and I'm about to go jump in that turquoise ocean here in just a little bit. But they ground me. They help me stay where I need to be. And they'll tell me when I'm off kilter, too. Just like the old lady. She'll tell me. She'll let me know. She will. So, to wrap this up, I ain't going to be on here too long. I don't want to do all that. I'm not that type of guy. But what I will say is, drop a comment, man, if you've ever felt this way. And if you do, I'm going to reply to every single one of them, man. I am. Drop a comment. Let me know how you feel, man. What do you use to stay grounded? What are the things that when you start becoming successful, what are the dark sides of success for you? Let's talk about it. The more conversation we have back and forth, man, the easier it is to help everybody. Because at the end of the day, each one teach one. And you ain't nothing if you can't grab somebody and help them along on their journey too. It ain't no fun if everybody ain't having none. Hey, like, subscribe, share. We got to get this ball rolling. But even in Honduras, I'm still going to put out content. Man, lost somebody that was near and dear to this world and a friend of mine as well. Mr. John Savage. That's devastating blow the world took right there. Just going to leave it right there. To those of you all who know, pray for his family. Pray for his kids. And pray for the world, because we did lose a good one. But now, like, subscribe, share. You know the drill. One word, peace.